Hello everyone. Today we're going to go over prop drilling. It's a React anti-pattern. We're going to kind of go over kind of the troubles of using it and why you want to avoid it and kind of a before and after demonstration. So here we have I wanted to kind of a real world scenario, but we have a settings panel and in the settings panel we have a username and the user's age. And we need to render that user age and username in the user fields component. And right now, as you see, we have an error. So we're going to need to pass the props all the way down into user profile, then user form, then user fields, as well as at the top as an argument all the way down to user fields. And now, as you can see, we have an age 28 and the username Alice. This is a small demonstration of kind of the whole prop passing way of handing state to a smaller child component. But let's say we start adding component, and this is kind of how it happens in the real world. Is the user will say, hey, we want a dark mode. So you'll say, okay, well, let's go ahead and add a dark mode to the settings panel. So we'll add it to the top. Then we'll need to add the props as well as the arguments. I'm copy and pasting this stuff. You know, it takes a lot longer in development. And we should be, and I'm going to go ahead and update the HTML. It's just a button, it toggles this value, changes the background color, and as you can see, it works. And now we have a toggle button, but here, user profile, it has all these props. It doesn't need to know about any of those, as well as user form. If we want to test user form or user profile, it's a lot harder to do without mocking all these values. If we want to use these in other parts of the app, they're also a little bit harder to use as well due to the tight coupling that this prop chain passing kind of does. So let's talk about the solution. You can solve this a couple different ways. You can use MobX, you can use Redux, pretty much any state management library you can utilize to avoid prop drilling. We're going to use context. That's kind of React's built-in way. And yeah, let's go ahead and go through how to do that real quick. The first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to create the context. We're going to need use context. And go ahead and make the user context at the top. And then we're going to need to wrap user profile with a provider. And go ahead and make the context values up here. Okay, so far it doesn't like that. I'm going to go ahead and just cool, no error right there. And you will wrap the provider wherever the values are coming from. And in this case, they're coming from settings panel. So this is where we're going to have our provider. Now we don't need to pass these props through. So let's go ahead and start removing all these props. This is one of the best parts about this is now user form does not care about any of these values that it's not using. And for that, they can be used elsewhere in the app a lot easier, and they can be tested a lot easier as well. And we are almost done. But down here in the users field is where we need to use context. So let's go ahead and take that in first. And okay, username. Sorry about that. And now we should, we're good. But we're not showing the user age for some reason. Okay. Okay, duh. Sorry. This is from an old example and I had state in here. It's a little confusing. And there we go. We have user age, which is 28, and toggle works. Now, user profile and user form is completely decoupled from this entire thing here, allowing our components to have a lot more composition and flexibility. And yeah, this is how you avoid prop drilling. Thank you for watching the video, and until next time, have a good one.